But yeah, okay, we get to the next film, which is a lot better.
Oh.
Solo, which is a 1996 film starring Mario Van Peebles about an android hired to kill rebels who then ends up joining the rebels and fighting with them.
I feel like that could actually fit in with Star Wars better than Last Jedi.
Probably, yeah. But no, I'm joking. Solo, a Star Wars story. Why do you include that?
You gotta make sure it's a spinoff.
Maybe people were, you know what? Maybe people were getting confused for the Mario Van Peebles movie. Now, I like this one actually. This is my favorite of the newer stuff.
I have to agree.
Definitely
I
my
love
favorite of the
Solo
newer
so
stuff.
much.
It probably helps that Lawrence Kasdan helped write it.
Yeah.
And it was directed by Ron Howard.
See,
Knows how to direct.
Actually, something about this. I was afraid for this movie for a while, especially after the first director left and they had to bring on another one.
Yeah.
Because usually that's not a good sign for a movie.
We know how well that went with like Rogue One of the reshoots and stuff. You know?
But
and with Suicide Squad.
Oh, we don't mention that movie. That movie doesn't exist as of this moment.
Have you even seen that?
Not all of it, but what little I have has made me convinced to not watch it.
You're not missing much. You're not. As much as I don't like Rogue One, Suicide Squad is... whatever. Off topic. We'll do a DC thing later,
boy.
maybe. If I can
if I can stomach
if I can conjure up the courage to do that. But anyway. So, yeah, they like fired the original directors and writers because they felt it was too, like, I don't know, too humorous out.
I have no idea.
Guardians of the Galaxy or something. I don't know. But either way, they got Ron Howard back in, and they got Lawrence Kasdan, right? And it was good. I liked it. It was pretty entertaining.
It was. It was a great breath of fresh air.
Yeah. I think it's. I don't know. It might be a coincidence, but maybe it's not. That my two favorites of these newer films were both written by Lawrence Kasdan. Force Awakens, they had Lawrence Kasdan help writing it, and then this one, Lawrence Kasdan helped write it. Where do we start with this one? I think it's an entertaining film. You know, I don't think it's a great film, but it's entertaining. You know,
Woody Harrelson was an amazing character.
Woody Harrelson, I'm so glad they got him to be in a Star Wars film. You know, I thought his performance was very, very entertaining, very memorable. You know.
Lando, I thought, was also...
Donald Glover was excellent.
He was
Lando.
a great young
Any
Lando.
chance to see more of Lando. I mean, you know, I love his personality. I like that in this one you see him gambling and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's that part where, like, Han says, I'm going to ask you this. I don't know if it's true or not. And he says, everything you've heard about me is true. They're just like, yeah. He gives Han Solo a run for his money in terms of the cool factor. I think he's cooler than Han Solo, to be honest.
Yeah, in this movie at least.
Yeah. Kind of wish there'd been a little more of him though. But Donald Glover was a very good casting choice to play Lando. He actually did sound a bit like Billy D. Williams.
Yeah.
Especially towards the beginning of the film. And I actually liked Alden Ehrenreich who played Han Solo in this.
He did a pretty good job.
I know some people think he doesn't really act or look like Han Solo. I thought he did fine, you know.
Yeah.
I kind of like that he didn't just do a Harrison Ford impression.
Yeah.
Although it would be very entertaining to see a version of Solo with Mark Hamill doing his Harrison Ford impression.
He has a really funny Harrison Ford impression.
Yeah, I know. This one works for me because the characters are actually interesting for one thing. They have personality. They have spark. The movie's funny. You know, it's entertaining. There's some good action scenes. I like the bank heist thing. The train heist, not bank heist.
That was a fun
pretty
scene.
Entertaining scene there. You know. I like that you get to see how Han met Chewbacca and stuff. You know, and. I thought the chemistry between them was, was definitely there. You know, you can tell like these guys like are gonna become the best of friends. You know.
Then there was the sassy robot that Lando had.
Oh gosh! Oh my! I'll talk about that when we get to negatives, but The directing was definitely a lot better than Rogue One. It was a lot
Yeah.
more entertaining than Rogue One. I kind of like they have like kind of a World War One feel to it when they're in the trenches and stuff. And
It's
fighting.
a nice contrast.
And I like how Han Solo. It shows how he tried joining the Empire at first, tried like fighting, in like a war, but then he ended up becoming a bit disillusioned and became a smuggler. I actually do like the. I know some people, they don't like it shows, where Han Solo came from. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I actually liked it. It definitely interested me a lot more than Rogue One did. Because Rogue One, I mean, I'll just go watch the original film. I'll just go watch the original film if I want to see the the Death Star and all that,
I think a problem it has is it tries to explain too much about Han Solo at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like, I did...
The worst one being...
His name.
His name. Yes, his name.
Han!
Who are your people?
Solo.
Who are your people? I don't have any. I'm alone. Han Solo. We didn't need to know that.
Yeah,
this is a universe,
that was dumb.
This is a galaxy where you can get a name like Skywalker.
Yeah. I don't think we really needed to see how Han got the lucky dice.
Yeah, yeah. Because another thing with this film, I think lies a huge improvement over Rogue One. Ron Howard, he's a good director. Gareth Edwards, just all the other movies I've seen of his, they're just kind of murky messes.
Yeah.
His best film was that 2014 Godzilla film, which I have issues with it, but I enjoy it more than Rogue One, I would say.
Yeah.
And then he did that movie Monsters, which is... He doesn't know how to pace things. He doesn't know how to pace things. He just doesn't know how to do characters right and stuff. Because if you watch any of those movies, most of the main characters just... Yeah. And then the characters that are interesting don't get tons of screen time. This one... You get Han Solo, you get Lando, you get Chewbacca, you get Kira, who I thought actually did have chemistry with the actor who played Han Solo.
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany, yeah. I kind of wish they'd done more Paul Bettany. Because Paul Bettany's a really good actor.
I thought the fight scene at the end was pretty
a really
good.
cool name, Dryden Voss.
Oh, yeah, Dryden Voss.
That's a really cool name. And I really like that fight scene.
Where he had, like, lightsaber daggers?
Yeah, that was cool. I thought that was cool. And it's like, if you look closely, his, like, little room thing, there's, like, little trinkets in there. You can see, like, the idol from Raiders of the Lost Ark in there. And some, like, Mandalorian armor. I didn't notice the idol, but the Mandalorian armor is, despite being a bit in the shadows, is more noticeable, if you ask me. But yeah. I do kind of like that they show Darth Maul in this. It's a bit pointless, but I don't know.
It was a fun surprise seeing that for the first time. It was like,
big,
whoa, hey!
I did not expect to see him in this. And then it's funny because my sister was there watching it, because I went to see it with my family, and my cousin was there. And my sister, when Darth Maul showed up, she's like, oh, that guy.
Yeah.
She actually remembered Darth Maul.
Because, there's a lot of people that, don't watch, like, the Clone Wars. They don't know anything about the extended stuff. They just know the numbered movies. So they had no idea Darth Maul was alive.
I knew because I think you told me, because I hadn't really seen much of the Clone Wars. I haven't seen those particular episodes. So I knew, like, okay, yeah, Darth Maul's still alive. I did not expect to see him in this movie.
Him activating his lightsaber was also very pointless, but also kind of fun to see.
One thing I do wish they'd done, I wish they'd gotten the original voice actor in The Phantom Menace, Pierce Serafinowicz, because I thought he did a very good voice for Darth Maul. They got the guy from the Clone Wars, Sam Witwer, to do the voice, which he's good. He is good, but I don't know. I like Pierce Serafinowicz as Darth Maul.
I feel like they could have also presented him better than just having him pop up and then disappear. Like, maybe have him show up in person.
I wonder, like, did you know it was Darth Maul before he took his...
Once he took it back and I saw his face, I was like, oh, that's Darth Maul.
Because, like, you didn't recognize the voice.
I kind of did, but it had been a while since I had seen...
Okay. Because I wasn't really that familiar with Clone Wars. I've only seen like the first 2 seasons of it, so I'm not like overly familiar with it. I was more familiar with the Samurai Jack one.
Oh, that was a great
which I think is probably the best Star Wars animated series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think this one just for me. I really like the guys that play Lando and the guy that plays Han Solo. I thought they were very good. They were pretty well cast. Seeing Chewbacca in it. There's some fun action scenes. Okay. Oh yeah, negatives. The robot that you mentioned, L337.
Something that I noticed
I thought she was very annoying, honestly.
In Empire, I think part of the reason she was included
she's not as bad. Okay, she's not as bad as Hux.
Yeah. The reason that I think she was included was entirely due to just one line in Empire Strikes Back, where C-3PO says he's been communicating with the Falcon, and that it has the most peculiar dialect. I think that's the only reason that robot was in there.
Oh, for Pete's sake. We mentioned how Han got his name, which I thought was very dumb, very on the nose. The Kessel Run, we didn't need to see that, I don't think. I always assumed it was sort of a race, like a pod race in Phantom Menace, but apparently not.
Well, when I read about it, I read that the Kessel Run was basically a run to see who could get spices from that planet the fastest, which really wasn't what they were doing. They were just trying to get out of there.
I would have been fine with that too. Yeah, like to see who can get this run.
Because then that does feel like a race, and it feels like it's important to do the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs.
I guess people don't want to see a pod race.
True.
I didn't notice this until rewatching it, but there's a lot of shots that look very dark or dirty.
Yeah.
Like they use a lot of brown.
I think some of my favorite shots are the more colorful ones towards the beginning when Han and Kira are going through like the streets in that yellow speeder.
That chase scene was pretty good too. Not as entertaining as the one from Attack of the Clones, but
true.
But an entertaining chase scene. It kind of. It does still sort of feel like a Star Wars film, but at the same time, it feels kind of like a modern action film too. But one thing I do like about it, I like that they show, because I mentioned that part of one of my favorite parts of the first film, the original film, was the Mos Eisley stuff, seeing the more sleazy part of town, and I like that they show a little bit more of that with Han, being a smuggler, him gambling with Lando, You see a lot of unusual creatures in that little bar that they're at, And I like that they show that how he wins the Millennium Falcon in a card game, basically. That's fun.
And he takes away Lando's hidden card.
Darth Maul, it's cool seeing him, but it's pointless.
Yeah, he's shoehorned in just for, hey, we got Darth Maul.
Hey, prequel fans. I'm okay with Darth Maul being in it. I like Darth Maul.
Yeah, but there is actually no point for him to show
He might have more lines in this than he does in The Phantom Menace.
I think you're right, actually.
He has 3 lines in The Phantom Menace, and he gets more stuff to say than that. I also like how when he's introduced, you can even hear in the background Duel of the Fates playing.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. I thought. One thing I kind of wish they'd done though. I kind of wish that maybe they'd include more of Jabba or the bounty hunters, especially one of the, Boba Fett, it'd be cool to see more of it, but maybe even one of the more obscure ones, because I heard they were going to include Bossk.
Oh, that would have been
interesting. Or maybe even Dengar or something. That would have been
Okay, I actually really want to see more about Dengar, because with Bossk, he showed up all the time in the Clone Wars, especially
and Robot Chicken.
Yeah. But, Dengar is a character that there's you don't know anything about.
Or IG-88 maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe IG-88. That'd be kind of interesting. Having a robot assassin.
Yeah. How a droid became a bounty hunter.
Have a robot assassin hunting after Han Solo. That'd be kind of interesting. I do like how they go to that one planet and there's that little they kind of look like a tribe or something.
Yeah.
People. That was kind of interesting. I thought. And there's that one part where Han, like, he signals to the Millennium Falcon. He, like, says, oh, we got, like, 50 people surrounding you. And he signals to the Falcon, it takes
just takes off. And he's like,
off. I think the villain, like, I like Paul Bettany, but he's not the most memorable villain.
Not really.
He's not the most memorable villain. Honestly, you know, even though I do prefer this over Rogue One, I thought Krennic was probably more interesting.
Yeah.
He reminded me more of a James Bond villain.
Yeah,
than a
he
Star
kind
Wars
of
villain.
has that feel where he just kind of sits back
He
and
has
laughs
this, like,
maniacally while his henchmen do something.
I like his like little like place he has. He's got these rich people having parties
Yeah.
at his place, drinking wine.
It's just like a big floating ship
Probably
that's
using-
hovering like 5 feet off the ground
Probably
on a
using
desert.
death sticks at the party too. You know, I thought that was kind of fun. You know, it's just I mean, did this movie really need to be made?
No,
It doesn't
but
really serve much story-wise. I mean, it is cool seeing more about Han Solo and, of course, Lando. But, you know, I mean...
see, it didn't need to be made, but the
Not
good thing
really.
is that it was made well.
Thankfully, it was made well.
And so I feel like that
So-
justifies its existence.
I think I do... Like I said, I do think it's the best of at least so far,
Yeah.
the Disney stuff. I don't know if they're going to make another spin-off. I heard rumors
they were
about
going to,
Boba
but
Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
they were going to do a Boba Fett one, but that got
I thought that
canceled
I
or
think that
put
got
back
canceled.
after.
And then they're doing a Mandalorian show now.
Well, they canceled that one because people didn't go to see Solo because they hated The Last Jedi so much.
That's another thing we need to mention. That this was the first Star Wars film that was a box office flop.
Yeah,
It did not make its money back.
it was
If you
because
ask
people
me,
went and boycotted
There's
it.
two reasons. The boycott.
Yeah,
Last Jedi, you know, it came out like 6 months before this. People are still mad at that. And the marketing. The marketing was
it got
non-existent
no
almost.
attention.
There wasn't really much marketing. I almost forgot it was even coming out until, like, my dad and was dragging me and cousin and my sister to go see it.
I don't even think I saw this one opening day, which I've done for all the other Star
I don't
Wars
think
films.
I did either. I didn't see it opening day. I saw Rogue One and Last Jedi opening day, but this one I did not. And yeah, it. I don't remember seeing very many ads for it or really hearing
Not
about
really.
the marketing or anything.
I don't remember any trailers for this movie,
Yeah.
actually.
You know, yeah, and also I think it was released too early. It kind of, you know, I mean, I know the original films and the prequels are released in May, but at this point, you know, you had three films that were released in December, so people are used to going to see them in December, and then this one just came out in May.
That did
And then there was
surprise
also
me.
people hearing about the production behind it. You know, maybe they should have gotten more time to work on it. I don't know. And as a result, it's actually the most expensive Star Wars film. I don't know if that's adjusted for inflation or not, but because they had to reshoot so much of it, yeah.
I would kind of like to see the original, like parts of the original cut.
Yeah. Same with Rogue One, too. I'm kind of curious. Because if you look at the trailers, there's so much of it that's not in the movie. Like, the trailers for Rogue One, 90% of it not in the movie. But yeah, what's interesting though, Ron Howard was one of the main stars of American Graffiti, which was directed by George Lucas, as we mentioned in one of the previous videos, and also featured Harrison Ford. So, yeah. Apparently, Dryden Voss, the original concept art, portrayed him as a dinosaur bird-like creature, which would have been very entertaining.
Yeah, I would still like to see that thing portrayed
I would
by
like to
Paul
see
Bettany.
that. Probably would have looked something like probably would have looked like that giant claw. Yes, he actually has this on VHS. The giant claw. I would have loved to see the giant claw in a Star Wars. So, okay, let's talk briefly about the next film.
The Rise of Skywalker. That took me a while to remember its name.
Tells you how hyped you are for the next one.
I'm a bit worried for it.
Uh-huh.
I hope they follow the trend of the prequels where the third one is, like, fantastic. Or, you know, good at the very least.
They'll continue the trend of, like, the third one is very exciting, a very good ending to the
Yeah.
good,
And then Palpatine. They've talked before about Palpatine. He was apparently always planned to come back for Episode 9. But at the same time, this feels like a desperate grab to get people's attention back for this movie.
What I'm worried about is that they're going to go a very stupid route.
Probably, yeah.
And like something from like the Dark Empire comics where he like, it turns out he cloned himself.
I think though, Ian McDiarmid, he did an interview about
If
it.
they do go the Dark Empire route, I'm probably gonna walk out of that theater.
Yeah, they had an interview with, Ian McDiarmid. He said it's going to be the actual Palpatine. He confirmed that it's not going to be a robot, it's not going to be a clone, that it's going to be
Why?
the actual Palpatine.
Honestly.
So hold on, that means
You
he
know
fell down
what?
that trench, exploded again with
That
the Death
makes it
Star,
so
and
much
lived.
worse because, for one thing, there's no way you would have survived that. I don't care how powerful you are.
It could be Force Ghost Palpatine.
I mean, I guess Darth Maul survived.
But I mean,
but
his chance, it was a lot less extreme with Darth Maul. He was
didn't
just cut in
blow
half
up.
and threw down. Yeah,
I mean, granted-
Palpatine blew up twice.
Granted, in the original script, it was supposed to be a melting pit, but we didn't know that. They didn't indicate that in
It just
the
looked like a
actual
trash
movie,
chute.
Phantom Menace. I thought it was just a trash chute in the Phantom Menace, but and it also, my biggest problem with it kind of ruins Darth Vader's character arc, because he sacrificed himself to save his son.
Yeah.
By killing, his master, and that just, for me, that kind of ruins it. Unless they bring Darth Vader back as well to kill him
Darth
again.
Vader Force Ghost.
Positive thing about this, though, is more Ian McDiarmid.
Oh, yeah.
More
No matter
Ian
what,
McDiarmid.
it's going to be a fun time watching
Ian
him.
McDiarmid is a great actor. He's very entertaining to watch as that character. So we'll get more of that, even if the reason they brought him back is incredibly stupid.
See, they've in the expanded universe stuff, they've been setting something up, which I think could lead into it, because, like, Vader in the comics has been searching for, like, this gate that leads to the afterlife so he can try to bring back Padme.
Okay.
So I think that might be how they do it, but...
There was a Red Letter Media video where they did a predictions video, and they suggested time travel.
Oh boy. Please let us go back to the prequels.
If that doesn't,
Yeah.
if that doesn't strike you as lazy, I don't know, because everything's
That would
doing
be-
time travel.
That'd be the
now.
ultimate middle finger to the original trilogy if they went back in time to the prequels and killed him before the events of the original trilogy. You would actually just destroy the whole series.
It'd be really funny though is if they went to the future, got a future almanac, and then sent it back to Palpatine so that he could make a bunch of sports bets.
Yeah, take that route.
For those who don't get that reference, Back to the Future Part 2.
Yeah.
Okay, a few things. J.J. Abrams is back. You don't have Rian Johnson.
Good.
J.J. Abrams, I know some people don't like his films, and to each their own. I don't think he's a bad director.
Yeah. I think he could potentially save this.
Potentially. But the problem is the writers. J.J. Abrams is helping write this.
All right.
And we all know how great of a writer he is. And one of the screenwriters, well, he wrote Argo, which is a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
But he also wrote two of your favorite movies.
Oh no. Oh no. What are they?
We mentioned DC earlier, right?
Oh no. No.
Can you guess which ones?
Please tell me it's not Man of Steel.
Not Man of Steel.
Okay.
But
Good start.
But Batman v Superman.
No.
And Justice League.
Okay.
And
Where's Martha?
Once I heard that, I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
no.
we're screwed. They're just no.
No.
That's we're.
Nope. So that'll be fun to see in half a year.
I did okay. The cast. Okay, you bringing Amy McDermott back. it seems kind of desperate a bit. You know, let's win back a bunch of fans, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, and hey, you'll get at least one entertaining performance.
Exactly.
But I also okay, they're bringing Billy D. Williams back.
I feel like that's
which
a good
I'm
move.
totally okay
Yeah.
with, because like I mentioned earlier, Billy D. Williams, you know, Lando, one of my favorite characters. You know, as long as they do stuff with him
Exactly.
and don't mess up his character, you know. And they better not kill him. If they do, I'm gonna be
angry if
I'm
they
gonna
kill
be
Lando.
very angry.
But also, how funny will that be if Lando is the last surviving of the main cast in the Star Wars universe?
Maybe I'd like to see more of Cloud City. That'd be kind of nice.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know. I do like that they're bringing in Richard E. Grant, who's an actor I really like. You know, I kind of wish he was in better movies though, because if you look at his filmography, he's in so many terrible movies, but he's a very good actor. Apparently Mark Hamill's gonna be back, but I'm not sure. Like, is he gonna be a ghost?
I'm pretty sure if
Is
he comes
he-
back, it'll either be a flashback or a Force ghost.
I don't know. You know, maybe he didn't die in The Last Jedi, because, you know, he says there, nobody's ever really gone.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe he's following through with it. Maybe he comes back through the time machine, and you get to see a
Hopefully.
younger Mark Hamill.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But it won't be like a trained Mark Hamill. It'll be it'll be
there-
Luke right
there's
after
one-
episode
there's
4.
one- okay, you know, one thing that it wouldn't completely redeem Last Jedi, but it would at least redeem a little bit of the Luke subplot. If it turns out the Emperor was sort of influencing Luke to give up basically and hide, maybe
That would better explain some things.
And almost kill Kylo.
Yeah, that would explain
that would
some
explain
things.
a little bit. It'd be a bit of a cop out, but you know, okay. You know, I don't even know what they're gonna do with Carrie Fisher. You know, she's
I
dead,
heard that
and
they're
using unreleased footage
yeah.
from Force Awakens: The Last Jedi, but
they'll probably have her die at some
Oh,
point in the
that's
movie, but not have like a death scene. Just be like,
I
yeah, she
can't.
passed.
They just didn't do anything with her in those first two films, and that disappoints me.
Yeah, because now she doesn't do anything in
Yeah.
any of the movies.
Honestly, I think of the original cast members, she was probably handled the worst.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford, you know, he at least got to do some stuff. You know,
I feel like he was
Same
the one
Mark
that they
Hamill.
respected the most.
But
Han
they
Solo.
just didn't do much for Carrie Fisher. I really hope that Lando gets a lot to do.
Yeah.
Gets some cool stuff to do. It was cool that they brought Lando back for Rebels, you know, and that it was Billy D. Williams as well, you know. It's Billy D. Williams. You'll at least get a good performance.
Yeah, I do like how he's been coming back to do Lando stuff. Like, he came back for Battlefront 2.
Yeah, he was in some of the video games and stuff. He's on Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
You know, with most of the Robot Chicken Star Wars sketches, they have other people voicing the characters, but they actually did get Billy D. Williams back to voice.
I like how
Lando.
willing he is to come back.
Yeah,
that sort
that's
of
very.
stuff.
Yeah, I really like that. You know, very different from Harrison Ford, who didn't really want to come back.
Yeah.
You know, unless they killed off Han Solo. Shows how enthusiastic
Exactly.
he is. Just, I want it to be a good ending. I
hope.
want it to be good, but I don't have high hopes for it. After I learned who's helping write it and some of the stuff, I don't know.
If it's
It's
bad.
a good trailer. I like the trailer, you know.
Yeah.
At least, okay, it hints that we'll see more of Poe and Finn doing stuff. you
Yeah.
know, so there'll at least be that. There's like an action scene in there. It looked kind of fun, I think. But I don't know. And the future of the series, what do you think about where we'll go from here?
Currently, they are saying that the Skywalker saga is
This will be
complete.
the last one. Yeah, just
and
end it.
I
Please
hope
end it.
so.
But
I
don't- they're
I really
probably.
hope
Do you
so.
think they'll make callbacks in these newer films?
They might. Well, depending on when the films take place, because they could
Yeah.
take place either way in the future,
In
in
the
the
future or
past,
the past,
or it
yeah.
could just be somewhere else in the galaxy or universe
heard
that's so
one-
far away that
I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard that they were gonna make a Knights of the Old Republic trilogy.
I've heard that, but I don't think that's ever been confirmed.
And honestly, I don't really know a lot about that. That's a video game, if I remember.
Yeah.
Right. I haven't, so I don't really know a whole lot about that. But yeah, I'm not excited for the Daniel Benioff. I don't know.
Yeah.
His last name. And D.B. Weiss. I haven't seen a lot of Game of Thrones. I've seen like the first 2 episodes, but
I've heard the series is good until the last season.
I heard these 2 really messed up the last season. Like,
to be fair, they didn't have a book to base the last season on.
Yeah.
But
maybe don't film it until George R.R. Martin is done.
Or at least get George R.R. Martin to come by and be like, "Hey, this is how I'm gonna end it.
This is what I want to do."
I feel like that could just be him being like, "I want to end it like this. Let's see how the audience reacts."
It's like what they. I don't know how accurate the show is to the books. I really don't. I know like very little about Game of Thrones. I've seen 2 episodes. I tried reading one of the books, but didn't end up finishing it. But from what I've heard, like, they just went along with whatever and just kind of did whatever they wanted. Sort of like, with the Under the Dome show, where they just went completely off.
Yeah, I tried watching that, and that was like, cool, that's different entirely.
So, like, the characters were completely different. It's completely... They changed so much of it to the point where it wasn't even... Yeah. The Rian Johnson trilogy, as long as he doesn't write them, as long as he's not given total creative control over it.
I mean, it'll probably look cool, but I'd like it to be a good trilogy, too.
And he'll be doing something that's not related to... That doesn't have probably won't have as much to do with the original trilogy and these newer films, Maybe he wasn't the right guy to do the second film of one of the most anticipated film trilogies of all time. I mean,
all I want to know is when's the David Lynch Star Wars trilogy coming out? Those would get weird real fast.
Oh man, I would love to see Eraserhead set in a Star Wars setting.
That'd be so weird.
It's like he has like a baby Tauntaun or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I just hope it's good. This 9th one.
I was kind of interested in an Obi-Wan spin-off with Ewan McGregor, just because I like Ewan McGregor so much. But at the same time, there's not a whole lot of story you could tell there. Okay, the only thing I can maybe see, what happened to Obi-Wan between Revenge of the Sith and the original film.
That's the only thing. And it would all have to be confined to Tatooine.
One thing I would really like to see is him talking to Qui-Gon in another dimension, because they hint at that in Revenge of the Sith. But never do anything with it. There's like an unfinished deleted scene with Yoda talking to Qui-Gon. But other than that, they didn't do anything with it. I mean, okay. Just move away from the Skywalker stuff. Just let that story just be done. At the same time, I'm just not that excited for these. Like, I feel like maybe Star Wars should have just ended with, like, either Return of the Jedi or maybe the prequels. Because, like, there's just... Or, if they were going to make more, get more people, like, and know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because I don't really like the people they selected to make these newer films. But, you know what? I've been proven wrong before. I mean, if you'd asked me, like, a year and a half ago, I would have said Last Jedi was excellent. And look at me now. It's probably the worst film of the entire series.
So, should we rank these?
You can go first.
All right.
Okay.
My favorite is Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
And then it would be the original, Star Wars.
Star Wars, aka A New Hope,
yeah.
as they retitled it.
Then after that, I would actually pick Revenge of the Sith. I think
For third?
For third.
Oh,
I
really?
really love that movie. It has.
Yeah.
It's not like a great movie, but it's so entertaining.
It is very
And
entertaining.
it has
It
a
is.
great finale
is.
to that series that I just love it.
I know, like, some people that they actually pick that as not only their favorite of the prequels, but their favorite of the entire series, which, it's fine. It's a entertaining movie. Sorry, that was third?
Yeah, then my next one would probably be Solo.
Yeah.
Then after that, Return of the Jedi.
You put Return of the Jedi below Solo?
Yeah.
Really?
I think I preferred Solo to Return of the Jedi.
Oh, that's surprising.
Then after that, I would do Rogue One.
Rogue One, okay, yeah. That's...
Then I would go Episode 1, Episode 2, and then Last Jedi.
I actually changed your opinion because in one of the previous videos, you said Attack of the Clones was the worst.
Yeah. The more I just talked about Last Jedi, the more I realized how much of a mess it was.
Attack of the Clones, I mean...
Attack of the Clones has enough spots that are entertaining that it's not the worst.
Yeah.
Especially that gladiator scene in the
Oh,
whole last act.
Yes. Okay, so... For me... I'm gonna... Because you ranked the 10 films, I'm actually not going to include Force Awakens and Last Jedi in my ranking.
Alright.
Because the trilogy's not done yet, and how the next film goes about will definitely affect my views on,
the
on
sequel
the first
trilogy,
two films.
yeah.
But I will say, if you actually ask me which one's my least favorite, I would say probably Last Jedi. But again...
I forgot to put Force Awakens in the list.
Oh, shoot. Maybe that's your least favorite.
No,
Would you put it above the prequels?
yeah, I think I'd put it...
So below Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Above, is it above Rogue One or below?
No. It's basically one right above Phantom Menace.
Okay, it's above him. Okay. My ranking, again, not including Force Awakens or The Last Jedi, I would say number 1 is Empire Strikes Back. Quite possibly my favorite movie. I just love all of it,
Yeah.
But I especially love the stuff on Cloud City. You get introduced to Lando in this one and Yoda. You get more depth with like Darth Vader and Luke. And I like the stuff, I like the stuff with Han Solo and Leia in it as well. They have, Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher have really good chemistry in it. And that ending, it's a great ending, But at the same time, though, you watch it and... Well, you watch any Star Wars movie, you have to watch another one, because they're addictive, So, number 2, it's actually pretty close now. For me, number 2 is actually Return of the Jedi.
Really?
Return of the Jedi is number 2 for me. I would not... Before I rewatched them, I probably wouldn't have said that. I would have said Return of the Jedi was my least favorite of the original trilogy. But the reason why is because I really like the stuff with Jabba the Hutt. I find that very entertaining. And I really, really like the stuff with Luke and Vader and the Emperor with them on the Death Star. It's very, This has some of the most dramatic moments of the entire series, I think. It's very, very tense. I almost put it at number 1, but Empire Strikes Back edges it out just a bit because I think the ending is stronger.
Yes.
I think that the Cloud City stuff is, more interesting. But at the same time, Return of the Jedi, you get Lando flying the Millennium Falcon, you get him, he's in his old ship, and he blows up the second Death Star. It's awesome, I like the design of the second Death Star. And it does the best, I think, at the dramatic deaths, too, with, it does a good job tying up the original trilogy, I think. Number 3 would probably be the original movie, Star Wars, or as it was retitled, A New Hope. It's my least favorite of the original trilogy, but at the same time, it's a great introduction to these characters. You have Ben Kenobi, he's training Luke in Tatooine. It's all the stuff with just Alec Guinness explaining things.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great way to set up the universe and stuff. And I really like the Mos Eisley stuff, the sleazier stuff in the middle of the film. The Death Stars, like, you know, an interesting presence. The reason why it's my least favorite of the original trilogy, though, is Darth Vader does not get as much screen time.
I can see that.
As in the other ones. And I also feel like it was rushed a little bit. It feels a bit more rough and rushed than the other two. It doesn't feel as grand and epic as the other two of those. But it's a classic. It's a great film. Number 4 would be Revenge of the Sith. It's definitely the most entertaining of the prequels, you know. But at the same time, though, like, I watch it, but then I have to watch something else immediately afterwards.
Because it's a
very downer ending. And, you know, I actually like Hayden Christensen in this one. He gets some goofy dialogue, but he actually is pretty intimidating. And you can sort of see, like, he's a, you know, and I do like the story of it, how he, like, gets manipulated by Palpatine, you know. And which is another thing, you know, the Emperor is, Ian McDiarmid is just very entertaining in the movie.
Amazing in this one.
I think my favorite actor of the prequels, though, probably my favorite performance in the prequels is probably Ewan McGregor.
Oh, he does a great job.
He's so entertaining in these movies, you know, especially in Revenge of the Sith, because he gets a bunch of one-liners and stuff.
They're amazing.
We're still flying half a shit. You know, it's a very memorable, quotable movie. It's very entertaining, but I think it does better with the dramatic elements than the other two prequels, which is why it's above, you know, those ones. But yeah, I like it a lot. I really, really like it. It is, honestly, the flaws in it only make it better for me, just because the cheesiness of it, to me, I just find endearing.
Yeah.
For some reason. It just makes it more entertaining for me. Number 5 would be Solo. Again, you know, it was definitely the best of the newer films. I thought it was very entertaining. I liked seeing, you know, the young Han Solo and Lando, you know, and Chewbacca, you know. And I like that you see a bit more of Han Solo, like, smuggling and stuff, being, you know, a criminal, you know, that was very interesting. It explored more of, like, the sleazier elements of the original film. So, yeah, I do quite like that one. Number 6, I do kind of want to ask you, why do you... Because I put Attack of the Clones above the Phantom Menace. Do you have, like, a reasoning why you put Phantom Menace above Attack of the Clones?
It's mostly just because whenever I walk away and try to remember them, there's always, like, this sour feeling that I have with Attack of the Clones for a little bit of it. Mostly due to the romance scenes, how out of place and horrible those felt.
You see, the thing for me is, I find Attack the Clones less, like, it drags less for me, because, like, because I find, the romance is bad, but I find it funny, like, I find The Room funny. Yeah. Because it's, the dialogue in the romantic scene sucks, but it's an entertaining film. There's tons of action in it, you know. I like, again, Ewan McGregor makes the film, you know, if not just for the fact Ewan McGregor, it's more to do in it, you know, that's part of why I prefer it, you know. I like the stuff with him going to Kamino, and Kamino's an interesting little planet, you know. That was one thing I do really like about the prequels, is that you see more of the planets and stuff, you know. You see more of, like, the galaxy, you know, more of these planets, you know. You get Kamino, you get Mustafar, you get Naboo, they're all interesting planets. Attack of the Clones, I think the CGI probably aged the worst out of the 3 prequels, but I just like the action scenes, I especially like you mentioned the gladiator stuff, which is very memorable, very entertaining.
It's a fun scene.
As a kid, that's like the best thing ever. You know? You get to see these monsters, like, fighting, you know, Obi-Wan's fighting, like, this big praying mantis crab creature with a spear. And, like, you see, like, hundreds of Jedi just killing all these droids and stuff. You have Christopher Lee as the bad guy, You know, it's a fun time. It's goofy. It's over the top. It's a fun movie. I put it above Phantom Menace because, again, I think pacing-wise, it's better than Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace, for me, like, they tried to go for a more serious political plot, and while it's kind of interesting, I wish they'd done more with it, you know. And the tone was just weird, but I like the Phantom Menace. It's got kind of a charm to it. What lifts it up for me is Liam Neeson, especially, and his chemistry with Ewan McGregor. I definitely bought that they were master and apprentice, you know. Liam Neeson he adds, like, a certain gravitas to, like, whatever movie he's in. Yeah. And he's very interesting. He's an interesting character, too, Qui-Gon. He breaks some of the rules. He's, like, you know, kind of rebellious. He's very reckless, too. He basically almost gambles away Anakin against, like, this flying blue meanie, basically. And, like, it's a memorable, entertaining film. Probably my biggest problem with it, though, is the villains. Like, Darth Maul doesn't get as much to do. Count Dooku definitely got more to do than Darth Maul did, you know. Count Dooku's more involved, like, in the plot. He doesn't show up until halfway into the movie, but he's more, like...
Involved. He has a lot more screen time.
His character has more depth, too. Yeah. He's like a fallen Jedi, and it's kind of interesting to see especially that scene between him and Ewan McGregor, you know, him and Obi-Wan. It's very interesting. And then below Phantom Menace, so I'd probably put Rogue One. I'm just not a huge fan of Rogue One. Just for curiosity's sake, do you have, like, favorite characters? You can go by trilogy or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to do, like, a good guy and a bad guy from each trilogy. So I'll start with the prequels just to be fun.
Prequels, yeah. Obi-Wan's my favorite from the prequels.
Yeah, that's the same for me. Obi-Wan is the best good guy.
Ewan McGregor is very good in those films.
You can tell he's having a blast.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, my favorite villain is Palpatine, because he's also having a lot of fun. Then in the original trilogy, Han Solo is my favorite, you know, good guy.
Of the good guys, yeah.
And obviously Vader, because
Vader, yeah. I mean,
can't choose someone who's not Vader as your favorite bad guy.
Okay. The newer ones, favorite.
I'd say my favorite good guy.
My favorite probably was Finn until Last Jedi.
I'd actually say Rey, because she stays the most consistent throughout the films, and, you know, she's...
Yeah. The problem is with the newer ones, like, my favorite characters probably are just ones that were already in.
And my favorite bad guy is still Snoke, despite the fact that they killed him off.
Snoke, yeah. They really messed up his arc. Yeah. My favorite, like, protagonist from the series is probably Lando, actually. If you had asked me before, I probably would have said Obi-Wan or maybe even Han Solo or, like, Yoda maybe. But I really like Lando because he's so charismatic and, like, suave, you know. He's like a cooler version of Han Solo. He, like, has his own city that he runs, you know. And I like his chemistry with Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher, especially, you know. He's a very memorable character, and I think I mentioned Bespin is probably my favorite planet from the entire series, because I just love the design of it, too, you know. And even though, like, you know, because people, like, go on about how he betrayed Han Solo, but at the same time, like, he did it, like...
To protect the city. To
protect his people, to protect his city. And then he redeemed himself by destroying the Death Star, which it comes full circle, you know, because it was his ship in the first place, too, you know. Which is awesome. Yoda, you know, I mean, I like Yoda a lot, you know. He's kind of like a wise, like, monk, except he's this little green creature, you know. He's got so many, like, quotable lines, you know, do or do not, there is no try, you know. That is why you fail. But yeah, villains, Darth Vader's the best, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, who else am I going to pick? You know, I really like Darth Vader. You know, James Earl Jones' voice has a lot of presence. You know, it's a very authoritative and, like, powerful voice, you know. As a kid, he was my favorite by far. You know, like he was the coolest. You know?
Oh, yeah.
He's got a cool cape, a cool helmet, a cool suit. He's going around choking people. He's got a big red lightsaber. You know?
He is.
He's got the
probably
deep, booming voice of James Earl Jones. He's got a huge stature thanks to David Prowse. You know,
He is definitely the most recognizable villain in this series.
Yeah.
Like whenever you think Star Wars, you
maybe
think
the
Darth
most
Vader.
recognizable movie villain of all time.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe, you know, like
I can't even actually think of someone who would come close to Vader as most recognizable villain.
Dracula or Frankenstein
Maybe.
monster, but you know, Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff, but because everybody's seen pictures of those guys at some point. But yeah, I really like his character arc. You know, one of my favorite scenes of the entire series is when Luke takes his helmet off and you see his face. You know, he's played by Sebastian Shaw. He like says, "You were right about me."
Yeah.
You know, and it's just a very powerful, emotional moment. Probably one of the best dramatic moments of the entire series, I would say. Actually, I would actually put Jabba the Hutt second behind Vader because he's such a like interesting character.
Yeah.
You just like you go into his palace and you're just wondering like, what the heck is this stuff? I mean, he's this big, fat, greedy space slug. It's like a gangster. He has a huge like dinosaur-like creature called a Rancor that lives in his basement. he just throws people down there. Like, it's like a space version of like The Godfather.
Yeah,
or
he's
something,
goofy, but it's
where
fun.
he's just like. He has these weird galactic ways of like just getting rid of people. I would have liked to have seen more of that.
Jabba the Hutt spinoff, please.
Some of my favorite scenes from that were the stuff with Jabba the Hutt, yeah. And I really like his palace too. He's got all these weirdos just hanging out and like partying all the time.
So, that does it for the Star
Next
Wars.
time we'll be looking at the giant claw.
All right, until whatever we cover next time, see you then.
Yeah.